Hello everyone, the Panda Photographer is back, and today let's get back to what I normally do, is video grading and photography. So forget about the tech stuff, forget about the reviews of products, just get into what's important about this channel, and that is, how do you color grade? Well, basically, I have one camera now, so I use my Sony Alpha A77 Mark II, but technically I have two cameras because I use the iPhone 6s. But I'm going to show you how you can get a beautiful or try to get as close as possible to what you want. But this is just a tutorial on how to color grade your footage. Now I'm going to be using some applications, and I am going to be using Film Convert. Now if you're not familiar with Film Convert also takes your footage and you can use a Lux preset. Now that's what I'm going to do here, and if you want to learn how to absolutely add Lux yourself, I have a video right here in the corner. I will link that later. But with that said, this is the Panda Photographer, and thank you Panda Nation for tuning in. So I'm going to show you how I color grade. Now I'm going to be using a Sony Alpha A77 Mark II. I shot this scene with -3 contrast, -2 saturation, and -3 sharpness. I'm going to also show you how to apply sharpness. So, and if you are a filmmaker and you really want to learn how, or begin to learn how to, because I'm still learning at this time and still adapting to new stuff that Adobe's added to Premiere. But with that said, let's get into this right now. So what I'm going to do is go into effects, and what I'm going to do is type in Film Convert. I'm going to export Film Convert over to my footage. Now it's applied. If I go into effects, and let me skip this over here. Now Film Convert Pro 2.36 is what I'm using at this time. So if I go into cameras, now I'm shooting with the Sony Alpha A77 Mark II, so I want it close as possible. So I am going to select a camera, Sony, and I believe I'm going to select S, and then what I'm going to do is select a Lux profile. So I'm going to select ITU 709 Pro. I'm going to apply it. Now as you have as you have seen, it has changed. Now I'm going to make some adjustments. So I'm going to actually mark that. I'm going to mark it at the cue of the beginning of the clip, and I'm going to mark it at the end of the clip. And the next step I am going to do is change my exposure value to 0.20, brighten it up a little bit, and I'm going to change the camera temperature. So I'm not sure why it did not detect the color temperatures, but I'm going to add it to myself. I'm going to put 5000, and what I'm going to do is also click this little icon here that says the timer or the animated toggle switch, and I'm going to go to the end of the scene, and also click these other toggles, which are the keyframes. So remember that. So those are all applied. The next step is changing my scene so I can pick whatever film color I want. Say if I want KD 5213, but I want something a little bit more pop. So I'm going to select, let's see here, let's go through a few of them. I am shooting Super 35 because it is a crop sensor, so remember to change that if you shoot it on a crop sensor. But most of the time you're probably going to shoot, if you are shooting in full frame with the newest cameras like the A7 Mark III or Nikon 850, note that if you're doing 4K footage, and you want to shoot flat, you can. But let's see here, which works better. Yes, to okay. I'm going to select the convert to FJ H400 Pro, which is a color profile that I'm going to use. Now I'm going to select that and select the size. As I said before, click the keyframes at the end of the screen and make sure that you're going to use this footage, but this is just in a tutorial, an example how I do my color grader. Now here is where it's optional. Now I can use 100% of the film color, or, which in my case I like to use 50% of the film color, and I'm going to mark that. Let's bump it up a little bit more at 50, let's do 60. Let's do 60. Okay, now we got that set, and now I can put the keyframe in for that. And remember to save your files when you are working so you don't lose them if suddenly Premiere crashes. So, and that's what happens sometimes. Premiere does crash, not on me per se, but it used to in the past. It has improved. So the curve, I'm going to use 70% of the curve. Go to my keyframe here, and I'm going to choose 50% grain. Now this is optional, everyone. You can add grain to give your footage more character, but I'm shooting at 1080p 60 frames per second, so I don't want too much grain. I'm not going for a film look at 24 frames per second. So if I really want to shoot at 1080p or 4K 24 frames per second, I would use the grain to give that grain touch and that grain film look if I wanted to. Now here is where it gets tricky, and I know you guys are looking on this side. I'm gonna add sharpness, don't worry about that, and I'm gonna show you how it looks. See, it's soft. It's soft. So I am gonna add sharpness, because remember, now I have shot this with -3 contrast, -2 saturation, -3 sharpness. But I am gonna punch the colors up here, get this more look. Bring down the highlights just a bit, bring out the midtones just slightly, and shadows down a little bit. Alright, so I brought down the shadows, I fixed my midtones, I fixed my highlights. Now what I'm going to do next, if I'm going a little too fast for you guys, I'm sorry, but if you guys really want to emphasize what I'm really doing here, is that as you see, I put in keyframes to lock in the settings in my footage. But the next step is to go into the color. I'm going to increase the saturation by 150. Now I'm going to go into my levels, and I'm going to adjust the levels based on what I'm seeing here. Alright. Alright, so that's just some information. Now, once I'm done with that, now I'm gonna add some sharpness to the footage. Normally I won't mess with this adjustment just quite yet, but let's go into the effects, unsharpen mask tool. So we're gonna choose unsharpen mask tool. Add this in here. Now I normally do like 100, but it depends on the radius, so I am going to go 120 since I actually did -3 sharpness, and I'm going to put in 1.2. So I'm going to show you something really quickly here. Now I'm going to click the unsharpen mask tool. You see how soft it got? Now do you see how sharp it got? Soft, sharpen, soft, sharpen. So we have completed that, and gonna fit. Now it's asking me to give it a creative style, so I'm gonna choose my Lux files. So I have all my Luxes here. I got a 6x6 studio pack, which are tons of packs, but so many of them. But I am going to choose one, so let's choose this one. Now I'm going to choose the intensity. Alright, I don't want too much, and just add a little bit more sharpness, and I'm going to add a little bit more vibrance to it. And once I have completed this part, you can see the footage is looking really good. So this is how I do my color grading. I basically just go through some changes. If I don't like it, I always make changes. So, but film fade, let's do a little bit of film fade, just a bit, not too much. I did add sharpness, a little bit more vibrance. Let's add some more vibrance. Saturation. Alright, color wheel, color curve. Let's do the color curve. Now put a point here, point there, and a point there. Now as you can see, I'm changing how it affects the footage. It's a big difference, don't you think? Let's see here. So I am changing the color changes here, and let's bring this back down just a little bit. And the temperature. Increase that a little bit more. So now you guys have seen from what it used to look like, now what it can look like. Now I know I can do better. I just want to make a quick tutorial on this subject so you guys have a better understanding how to color grade your footage. Now it's optional. Other people have different techniques how they color grade their footage, but for me, this is how I color grade my footage. This is how I learned how to mess with the color grading. But if you guys, I forgot to check who is in the chat. Let's open up this chat here. Get some questions. Hello everyone, good morning. But anyway, if I missed your chat, I'm really apologize. Just want to show you how I color grade this footage, and basically this is what I do when I'm also color grading YouTube videos sometimes. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy, but color grading is important. So if you guys want to see the before, oops, it's all this out before and after. So big difference. And as I said, guys, this is just a quick tutorial how I like to color grade and how fast I color grade. So yesterday, just for example, I pushed out 2 videos just yesterday alone on this platform, and I pushed out a audio testing video, which was 11 minutes, and I did color grade the iPhone footage just slightly, a little bit, not too much, but and then I pushed out another video on, what was it? Wow, I forgot. Man, I really am tripping right now. Let's open up this dashboard. Yeah, anchor cables and the 24 hours with the boa. So that's 3 videos within 24 hours of each other. So pushing 3 videos in a day, you can say normal YouTubers do not do that, but with me, I do it because this will keep me busy all day and keeps me out of trouble. So I'm not a troublemaker, just saying that it keeps me motivated, keeps me going, keeps me pushing to the next level. But if you like the content, I really want you guys to subscribe to the channel, and please follow me on social medias. Now, if this was informative, if you want to help support this channel, there's a PayPal donation link right down in the descriptions below. I really appreciate it if you do it for me, as a freelance photographer and a freelance video maker and a YouTuber that's trying to grow and trying to make waves and trying to put a foundation for myself. Once again, I really appreciate you guys help me out with the PayPal donations. It really helps. But before I go, good morning, Michael. Good morning, Michael. I'm just showing people how to color grade, and I'm glad that you tuned in. Really appreciate it. The views help, especially you always help. So that's always like always a welcome for me. But just showing people how to color grade. It's important. Even though I'm not using the best camera to color grade, I'm using the A77 Mark II. I know I could do better than this. I'm just showing an example. My color balance wasn't correct when I shot this footage. I didn't use my grade card to complete, but I knew the temperature off my head how I want it. But then again, in San Jose, there's not a lot of color. It's pretty dull in the winter time here. So but with that said, it's been good. It's been great, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Go to my website at 646studios.com, where you can see all my photography and videography tutorials and video tutorials. I actually think I moved the video tutorials off and going to start that over because new cameras have come out, and I really want to redo my tutorial selection over again. It might take some time, but I will get it done. As you've been aware, that the Panasonic GH5S has been announced, and it's using the same sensor as the EVA 1 from Panasonic that just was released, which is almost a $10,000 camera. But GH5S is using 2 dual pixels. But then again, thank you, Michael, for saying great work. I really appreciate it. It really helps me out. Thank you, Michael. So I kind of like the EVA Panasonic GH5, but then again, that ISO works well, but I have to see. But the thing is that the EVA in the GH5S does not have stabilization or IBIS in the center, which is unfortunate. So I'm not sure if I would ever want to buy the GH5S. I would buy the GH5, but not the GH5S. But we have to see. But with that said, guys, I'm gonna have to go, and just want to make a quick tutorial on how to color grade with Lux and film convert. So if you guys have loved this content, I really appreciate it to you guys to hit that like button, subscribe, notification button. Also, don't forget to support the channel, hit the PayPal donation link. I did this for you guys. I just want to show you guys, and this was before the rainstorm, but like I said, eat, sleep, photography, videography, audio, gaming, and repeat. And I will see you guys in the next tutorial. Peace out. Have a good Wednesday.